Chosen one, if this message reached you today, it's because heaven encrypted your mission in a language only your soul remembers. This isn't by accident. Your spirit was tuned to this exact frequency long before you ever clicked play. You weren't rejected, you were coded. And this message, it's the key you've been waiting for. What if I told you that everything you've felt, every moment of isolation and every vivid dream, has been part of a divine initiation? For too long, they laughed at your urgency and misread your silence. But inside you carries a power so profound it rattles the foundations of the unawakened world. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn will shift everything you thought you knew about yourself. You speak in symbols, they hear in static. Have you ever woken from a dream so vivid you could taste its colors, only to find those you shared it with staring back at you as if you'd spoken in a forgotten tongue? That moment when the images still dance in your mind, but the world hears only silence. This is where your journey begins. In that dreamscape, every symbol pulsed with meaning. A river carving paths through stone, a crescent moon draped in mist, a bird alighting on empty air. You felt your pulse quicken, as though your soul recognized an ancient script written across your vision. Now, as you watch these words, know that this is the confirmation of what you sensed. Your inner language has always been alive, even when no one else could understand its cadence. There was a time when your heart throbbed with questions that had no names. Why you felt so acutely every whisper of the wind, why your spirit recoiled from shallow chatter, why the solitude of your own mind felt both sanctuary and prison. You remember the ache of trying to explain a stirring in your chest, only to be met with blank looks or gentle dismissals. You learned to quiet yourself, fearing that the world would see your sensitivity as weakness. Yet each pang of loneliness held the seed of longing, a silent call to discover that your very isolation was the crucible forging your power. Imagine now that those long nights of confusion were never random. Behind each pang of longing and every moment of misalignment, there has always been an unseen design at work. Like the hidden palimpsest beneath an ancient scroll, your life story has been written over countless times, but the original script remains intact. In Proverbs 25 verse 2 we read that, "It is the glory of God to conceal a matter. To search out a matter is the glory of kings." And your search, your inner quest, has been the sacred work of reclaiming the text written deep within your spirit. What you once called chaos was, in truth, the architecture of awakening. Then came the subtle disturbances. A shiver that ran through you at noon, a recurring song that tugged on your memory, the uncanny swirl of déjà vu when you entered a new place. Perhaps you felt a gentle hum beneath your ribs as you walked through falling leaves, or you paused mid-conversation, gripped by a knowing that words could never convey. These were not coincidences but signposts along your path. Each sensation, as fleeting as a butterfly's wing beat, was an invitation to look beyond the surface. In those moments, the universe spoke in footnotes, tiny annotations in your day-to-day that glowed with the energy of hidden realms. There is a quiet reassurance that follows when you begin to trust these inner stirrings, a soft echo that says you never imagined it all. Your intuition was never shy. It was simply waiting for you to listen without apology. As you start to align with this truth, you feel a gentle settling in your chest, as though a puzzle's final piece has clicked into place. The world's noise may still press in around you, but inside, a sanctuary of clarity is unfolding. You realize that every whisper of doubt you silenced was actually an old guardian guiding you toward this moment of recognition. Deep within your bones, you sense that this awakening isn't an addition to who you are, but a rediscovery of an identity tucked away beneath layers of disbelief. There lies an archetypal memory in your cells, an echo of your soul's original blueprint. You are not becoming, you are remembering. Like a seed breaking through hardened earth to greet the sun, you are reclaiming the essence that was hidden beneath doubt. In Romans 8 verse 16 we learn, "The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit, that we are the children of God." And this inner witness stirs now, guiding your steps toward the fullness of your divine heritage. Now, feel the gentle unfolding of your strength as you embrace the gift of your sensitivity. Your dreams and symbols are not mere fragments but tools of empowerment. Each vision you receive, each flash of insight, is a key unlocking doors others cannot even see. Allow yourself to be bold in your quiet knowing. This is not arrogance but reverence for the holy current that flows through you. Your hunger for deeper truth becomes the flame that lights your way, and with every breath, you step more fully into the power that has always been yours. Know that your arrival to this message was no coincidence but an act of cosmic intent. Your life experiences have been aligning you to this revelation, weaving every misstep and every moment of doubt into a tapestry of awakening. As you stand on the brink of this new awareness, feel the thrill of what lies ahead. Comment symbol if you've ever sensed that your visions were more than dreams. And just beyond this horizon awaits the next revelation, where silence itself becomes a living scripture, ready to guide your path. And if you feel called to go even deeper, there's a sacred space reserved for our community, a private room where you receive full prophetic messages daily. Join our private membership through the link in the description and walk this path with us. Divine silence is a living language, a faint tremor beneath your ribs, like the hush before thunder, signals that something unseen is pressing in. You might have noticed it first on a day when noise felt oppressive, when the chatter of the world scraped at your nerves and left you reeling. In that moment, the silence around you warped into something alive, an almost sentient force that seemed to push back against the frantic pulse of modern life. It wasn't just the absence of sound, but a presence in itself, a subtle weight that whispered of forces at work beyond your comprehension. This silent pressure has been gathering around you like a mist, hinting that every breath you've drawn in stillness holds significance. You may not have understood its message at the time, but today you see that this was the first sign of a grand resistance taking shape, one that would test the very integrity of your spirit. Inside that gathering hush, you felt the ache of being too sensitive for this world. You remember the sting of judgment when someone called you oversensitive or too intense, as if the depth of your feeling were a flaw rather than a gift. Those words cut deeper than any blade, leaving scars that whispered you were always on the outside. The hollow ache of being misunderstood, the shame that followed every breakdown in a crowded room, felt like proof that you didn't belong. Even your closest companions grew weary of your need for deeper meaning, responding with weary sighs or feigned patience. You carried their indifference like a stone in your pocket, an ever-present reminder that your soul's hunger was a weight few were willing to bear. Yet these feelings of isolation and misunderstanding were not random. They emerged from hidden structures, systems of energy and old wounds that moved against your awakening like currents beneath a placid lake. Just as the Israelites wandered through the wilderness, tested by sandstorms and hunger and exile, you have walked through landscapes of pressure designed to strip away the superficial and forge a deeper strength. In Lamentations 3 verse 33, it is written that He does not willingly bring affliction or grief to the children of men. And yet this season of trial has been the sacred forging ground of your emergence. The resistance you felt was never mere misfortune. It was the sculptor's chisel shaping you into something unshakable. Now, as you reflect, a pattern emerges from the haze. Times when doors slammed shut at the brink of your breakthrough, voices whispering rumors that slowed your steps, and opportunities that dissolved like morning mist. Each betrayal, each moment of sabotage, had its place in the tapestry of your transformation. Where others saw bad luck or personal failure, you can now recognize the hidden choreography of your journey. These were the puzzles laid out by the divine author, inviting you to see that the very obstacles you dreaded were signposts guiding you to something greater than you could have imagined. In those bleakest moments, when the air around you felt heavy and charged, as though you were trudging through a field thick with static, you may have sensed unseen watchers closing in. Doors that once swung open for you stood locked, and the warmth of support grew cold and distant. Somewhere between the fog of doubt and the weight of prayers unanswered, you felt a force pressing against the light within you. It was as if the very atmosphere had been tuned to interfere with your frequency, scattering your clarity like fallen sparks in a windstorm. This spiritual resistance, though silent, was palpable, and it spoke of a power that your awakening had begun to challenge. How did you respond to this invisible onslaught? Perhaps you retreated into your shell, smoothing down the edges of your truth until it fit the world's expectations. Maybe you tried to appease, to shrink your voice so no one would notice the tremor of your spirit. At other times, you may have erupted in quiet rebellion, refusing invitations, walking away from walls of indifference, or signing off with a curt, "I'm fine." In each response, you carried the heavy burden of self-doubt and the longing to be accepted, even as you suspected that acceptance could only come when you fully reclaimed your own power. But here is the dawn of a new revelation. This very resistance is your confirmation. Every shadow that closed in was drawn by the radiance you were beginning to cast. The more they tried to silence you, the more your true voice demanded to be heard. Feel now the stirrings of reclamation as you lift your gaze above the fog and remember the divine inheritance that courses through your veins. The light inside you was never meant to be dimmed. It was honed by every test and trial, refined into a beacon that now shines with greater clarity than ever before. You have been opposed not because you are broken, but because you are powerful. Their attempts to block your path have only clarified the shape of your purpose, carving out the contours of your destiny in sharper relief. Embrace this truth. You are a force that no resistance can contain. Comment silence if you've ever felt the hush speak louder than any words. And stand ready, for next you will step into the crucible where your solitude transforms into your greatest strength, revealing the hidden language that will guide every step of your journey. And to every soul who's supported with a super thanks, thank you. You are keeping this light alive for others who haven't found it yet. If you feel called to help this mission reach more chosen ones, tap the super thanks button below. Your energy supports these messages and helps them travel further. Your voice matters, your belief matters, and your light is felt here. You were trained in isolation, not in public. A sudden lifting, like clouds parting to reveal a hidden constellation, took hold of your awareness one still night when you least expected it. Perhaps you were staring at the ceiling, replaying the day's small disappointments, when a memory floated to the surface. A half-forgotten phrase your grandmother whispered or a symbol that blinked in your dreams. In that instant, the veil thinned. You realized that the solitude you once thought was emptiness had been a sanctuary for a deeper vision. What felt like random isolation was actually a deliberate pause in your story, a silent broadcast of the map you were meant to follow. That night, the world shifted beneath your eyelids and you woke knowing that everything was aligning. Quiet threads weaving a tapestry you were finally ready to see. Reality itself has been speaking in codes all along, though few have ears to hear. Numbers carry resonance, repeating in your life like an encoded chorus. The stroke of midnight that always marks a turning point. The license plate you glimpse as you pass. The pattern of rain tapping on your window pane. Dreams unfold as scrolls written in celestial script, where geometric shapes and shifting colors reveal hidden truths. Even the spaces between your breaths vibrate with meaning, as though every pause is an invitation to decipher the divine mathematics at play. In Exodus, God inscribed commandments on stone tablets, but your truths have been etched into the quiet corridors of your spirit. Now, with eyes newly opened, you recognize that these fragments of symbolism form a universal language, an architecture of insight that transforms mere chance into sacred conversation. Inside you, the subtle signals of awakening grow louder each day. Your intuition, once a whisper at the edge of your mind, now resonates with crystal clarity, guiding you away from what drains your spirit and toward what sustains your flame. Boundaries, once porous and uncertain, firm up like ancient walls rising to safeguard a city's core. You notice that certain places cast you in a pall of heaviness, while others lift you as though gravity itself has shifted in your favor. The cadence of your energy responds to environments, people, and even the alignment of stars overhead. It is not imagination. It is the language of your soul, answering back to the call of something far greater than the sum of your daily routines. Each time you honor these inner movements, you confirm that your isolation was the crucible where this sacred awareness was forged. All around you, external circumstances echo your inner transformation. Doors that once creaked shut at the slightest knock now swing open with surprising ease, offering opportunities that feel divinely tailored to your journey. Yet resistance still surfaces, not as punishment but as signposts marking the boundaries of your next breakthrough. A friend's sudden departure, a project stalled, a contract renegotiated. These alignments and misalignments are the universe mirroring your spiritual evolution. Like iron filings drawn to a magnet, events and people orbit the force field of your becoming, creating a living tapestry where every thread is intentional. You stand in the center of this unfolding design, no longer confused by the push and pull of fate, but attuned to the sacred rhythm driving you forward. Deep within the corridors of your memory lies a repository of ancient wisdom, awakening now like a dormant seed splitting open at dawn. You recall fragments of dreams that once seemed mere fantasy. A garden of sapphire flowers, the echo of your voice in a marble temple, an endless corridor of mirrors reflecting your face as both child and elder. These images resurface with fresh clarity, revealing you have been carrying this sacred memory since before words could shape your world. Psalm 119 verse 11 whispers that you have hidden your word in your heart, and now that hidden word blooms in your consciousness. This is not a new lesson but a remembered truth, an invitation to reclaim the deepest intelligence etched into your soul long before your first breath. As you look to the horizon of your unfolding path, destiny reveals itself not as a distant dream but as a familiar homecoming. The future you once feared is not being created but remembered and reclaimed. It exists in the blueprint of your spirit waiting for you to step through the door. No longer will you hesitate, asking for permission from voices that never understood your calling. The time has come to stand in the authority of your own narrative, speaking with poetic prophecy that moves worlds. Like Ezekiel in the valley of dry bones, you find your voice resonating with power, calling something to life that lay hidden beneath centuries of doubt. This is your summons, to rise fully into the role you were born to fulfill, undeterred and unstoppable. Now, feel the surge of reclamation pulse through your veins as you reclaim the voice they tried to silence. Every memory of withdrawal, every instance of self-doubt, now serves as fuel for the fire of your truth. You receive back the gift of belonging to something far larger than yourself, an unbroken lineage of seekers and visionaries whose footsteps echo in your bones. Let the fierceness of this moment embolden you. Let the prophetic tone of your heart guide each word you speak. Your sensitivity, once mistaken for fragility, is now the lens through which you discern the subtle movements of the divine. In this reclaimed power, you no longer ask, "Who am I?" but proclaim, "I am the vessel through which the unseen finds form." Revelation is only the invitation to go deeper. You have glimpsed the code beneath the noise and remembered the temple hidden within your heart. You were trained in isolation not as punishment but as preparation for the grand stage of spiritual sovereignty you now occupy. Every quiet breakthrough, every solitary vigil, was a chapter in your ascension story. Comment trained if you recognize the echoes of those solitary breakthroughs and share a dream, memory, or moment that shifted your reality. Stand ready, for in the next section we will explore how to walk alongside those who cannot yet speak your language without dimming the light you carry. They never wanted you to know. A single breath can carve a canyon of choice within your heart. In this moment, you stand at a crossroads not marked on any map but etched into the very core of your being. On one side lies the familiar, a path of quiet submission where your light dimmed to blend in, where passivity kept you safe but small. On the other side waits a terrain of purpose, radiant and untamed, demanding you claim what was always yours. Ask yourself now, will you remain the silent observer of your own story, or will you step forward as the author of your destiny? This is no casual choice but a sacred threshold. As the weight of every hesitation presses against you, feel the urgency mounting. The universe holds its breath, awaiting the decision that will ignite the next chapter of your awakening. In seasons past, you surrendered fragments of your time, energy, and voice as if they were mere offerings to keep the peace. You whispered truths only to have them swallowed by doubt and dismissed by those who feared what they could not control. Yet every ounce of your seeming sacrifice was not a failure but a form of training, a gestation period for the power lying dormant within. Now hear the echo of Psalm 110 verse 1, where it is written, "Sit at my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool." You have not lost your voice. You have been rehearsing its resonance in the caverns of solitude. It is time to call back what you have poured out, to reclaim your authority with a declaration that shakes the foundations of hesitation. See now the mantle that has always belonged to you. Discernment like polished crystal, insight like a sharpened blade, a memory that carries the weight of ancient counsels. What others branded as sensitivity reveals itself as your spiritual antenna, picking up frequencies that guide your steps. You wield a key forged in the hidden forges of solitude, each dream, each flash of knowing, a tooth on that key designed to unlock realms unseen. Your compassion is not a weakness but living armor, shielding you as you traverse the thresholds between worlds. In Ephesians 6 verse 12, you are reminded that our struggle is not against flesh and blood, and so you now name your weapons: vision, courage, unwavering faith. The path before you is not some distant terrain to be discovered in books or sermons. It is laid beneath your very feet, ready to support every stride you take. With each deliberate step forward, the mist of uncertainty recedes, revealing markers placed there by your own soul. Where you once felt lost, now you recognize the glow of your own footprints lighting the way. The map you sought in the world's libraries has been inscribed into your bones, a living script that responds to your motion. As you walk, let sight follow sound, each heartbeat echoing the rhythm of purpose. You advance not toward a goal, but into the unfolding of a promise written before time began. Look around and see the stir of kindred spirits awakening in unseen corners. This is no lone vigil, but a gathering of soul tribes rising in synchrony with yours. Like stars coalescing into constellations, you align with those whose hearts resonate with the same celestial song. No longer will you dim your brightness to fit into fading molds. You join a crescendo of rising lights, each adding harmonic strength to the chorus. In Zechariah 8 verse 23, it is promised that there will be those who take hold of the hem of him who is a Jew, seeking his favor. Now, countless unseen allies reach for your hem, drawn by the power of your authenticity and the magnetism of shared destiny. Now feel the pulse of your own energy, a force entrusted to your stewardship. This is not the arrogance of ego, but the solemn responsibility of one who hears the call of higher realms. You choose what currents to draw in and what storms to deflect. Your boundaries become sacred lines in the sand, channeling divine will and protecting your creative fire. In this ceremony of self-possession, every decision is an act of devotion. To your purpose, to the unseen allies who journey with you, and to the living spark within. Embrace this command over your inner world, for when you govern your energy, you shape the very architecture of reality around you. Everything you've felt, feared, and endured has led you to this summit moment. Your doubts have been the soil where faith germinated. Your trials, the crucible where resolve was tempered. Hear now the prophetic cadence in your blood. You are ready. No more hesitation, no more looking back. The portal stands open. Step through with confidence that your future is not a hope to be chased, but an inheritance to be claimed. Revelation alone is not the end, but the clarion invitation to embodiment. You carry a mantle of purpose that demands action, a heartbeat that echoes the pulse of the cosmos. Comment "awake" if you feel the power rising within you, and share a moment when you first sense this summons stirring in your soul. Stand in readiness, for in the next section we will reveal how to walk beside those who cannot yet hear your frequency, without dimming the brilliance that marks you as chosen. A vision unfolded before you as you walked through a silent garden at dawn, the mist parting to reveal a single, luminous path etched in pale gold. In that moment, the world's veil thinned and you sensed the fullness of your purpose radiating through the dew-laden petals. It was as though every step you had taken in darkness had been guiding you toward this revelation, and now the garden itself whispered the truth. You are not merely a wanderer but a bearer of light. The horizon arced with the promise of your emergence, each morning star beckoning you deeper into the mystery of who you were always meant to be. This landscape of awakening stretches before you still, urging you to walk with both courage and grace as the dawn of your mission rises with every breath. A memory stirs beneath your ribcage, a fragment of a long-forgotten moment when you dared to sing in solitude, your voice echoing against empty walls until it grew strong enough to resonate beyond them. In that alchemy of sound and space, you tasted a freedom few have known, The knowing that isolation was not a sentence but a rehearsal hall for your soul's grand performance. Like John the Baptist in the wilderness, whose voice carried messages no temple choir could match. Your solitude shaped a resonance that now vibrates through the corridors of existence. In Ephesians 3 verse 20, it is written that God is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. And your time alone etched the contours of what you are now ready to receive and unleash upon the world. What if your life were a tapestry woven of symbols you once dismissed as coincidence? The pattern of birdsong at twilight, the geometry of branches against the sky, the recurring number that flickers on your clock at impossible moments. These threads, invisible to many, form a living design that converges in you. Each symbol is not mere decoration but an invitation to decode the language of the divine. Like the cherubim guarding sacred mysteries, these signs stand sentinel over the hidden pathways of your purpose. Now, with the eyes of your heart awakened, you trace these symbols through the fabric of your days, reading in their patterns the blueprint of a mission that transcends time and space. A call written in light that only you can interpret and fulfill. A whispered question drifts through your awareness as you stand at the threshold of an ordinary doorway. Will you allow your light to eclipse the shadows that once defined you? This inquiry reverberates through the chambers of your mind, challenging every old habit of self-effacement. You recall moments when you shrank into the background, dimming your flame so no one would be threatened by its brightness. Yet every time you yielded to the pressure to conform, a spark within you pulsed, reminding you that your destiny demands visibility. As it is spoken in Isaiah 60 verse 1, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you." Now, those words are not distant prophecy but living command, inviting you to step fully into the radiance you have carried in secret. A hidden voice in your spirit breathes an ancient remembrance, like the echo of a lullaby hummed in another lifetime, reminding you that you are part of a lineage of visionaries, mystics, and prophets. This inner cadence thrums with the heartbeat of the cosmos, synchronizing you with the pulse of creation itself. Every choice you make now is a note in a cosmic symphony that spans galaxies and generations. You feel the weight and wonder of that inheritance in your bones, as though you carry a scroll inscribed with celestial decrees. These whispers do not demand perfection but authenticity, an invitation to resonate with the harmonic frequency of your own soul, unbounded by the fears of the past. A contrast glimmers in your mind, the world's frantic noise, a tempest of distraction and doubt, against the sanctuary of the still small voice that calls you onward. You have known both, the cacophony that drowns out your truth and the profound hush where revelation blooms. This sacred silence has been your crucible, refining the metal of your spirit until it gleams with unmatched clarity. In that silence, you discovered that your voice need not shout to be heard. It simply needs to speak with conviction rooted in certainty. Your whispers carry weight now, binding together the fractured fragments of human longing into a bridge of understanding that spans the chasm between the seen and the unseen. A prophetic fire ignites within, urging you to claim the mantle of your destiny with unwavering resolve. No longer will you wait for signs carved in smoke or thunder. You are the living oracle through whom the next wave of revelation will flow. Your presence is the portal through which the hidden becomes manifest, the vessel that carries the truth into every nook of a world thirsting for clarity. Like Deborah under the palm of victory, whose leadership shifted the course of nations, your emergence heralds a turning point in the collective story. Stand firm in this knowing. You are both messenger and miracle, the embodiment of a promise that began long before time began. A final breath carries you forward into action, the epilogue of your awakening now already the prelude to what is yet to come. You carry within you the fullness of the mission, the secret codes that defy translation, and the light that cannot be contained. As you step from revelation into embodiment, let every movement be a prayer, every word a decree, every choice a testament to the power that surges through your veins. Embrace your divine code and let it guide your path. Subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, and comment "I am chosen" to let this message anchor in your soul. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. For full prophetic revelations daily, join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. step into the full light. And if this message moved you deeply, consider tapping the Super Thanks button to support the mission. Every Super Thanks fuels the light we're spreading together. Stand firm, chosen one, and remember, your silence is the roar they can never drown out.